Hi, this is Alex from phpacademy.org, and this is a video tutorial for the new Boston. Now in this video tutorial and the video tutorials that are going to come after this in this short server series are talking about a predefined variable in PHP called $_server. Now you may have seen this before if you've dealt with PHP before. Server is a predefined set of environmental information, and it allows you to let's just go back to our it allows you to access certain information about the page, the user, requests that have been sent, for example. So in this video we're going to be looking at the file name and how it can be useful to us. Now, how do we go about doing this? So I've already shown you the variable name, which is $_server. So it's much like things like $_post and $_session. So if you're learning PHP for the first time, you're probably starting to see some kind of resemblance to with all these. So what do we do if we want to echo out or display to the user the current file name of the PHP script that we're on? Now, you wouldn't necessarily in everyday applications want to do this because, you know, the user can already see the file name. We're working with index.php at the moment. We've got this error because we haven't specified anything, but yeah, we can already see the script name. So why would we want to do this? Well, it's useful for us when we're doing things like submitting forms. For example, you specify your the key inside of here. So I'm going to say script_name. Now what this is going to do is it's going to take the script name and it's going to apply it into a variable. So I'm going to say script name. You can just echo it out straight away like this, but I'm going to put it into a variable so it's just a bit easier to see what we're doing. So we've got the script name here and we're using this predefined server variable, and this is the environmental information that we're putting through. So we've got script_name in capital letters. Now we're echoing this script name. So let's test this and see what we get. Okay, so we've got /series/server/index. Now you can see this corresponds somewhat to my URL in the sense that we're not including the domain name. At the moment I'm working locally on my computer, but we're not including the domain name. So why is this useful? Now let's say we wanted to submit a form, but we didn't know the file, the name of the file that the user was actually currently on. For example, let's create another file and we'll put a form in. And we'll have the action of this, well, we'll leave the action out, that's the point. So method equals post. And in here we'll just create a submit button. Equals submit. Name equals submit, and value equals submit. Now I've given this a name so we can keep track of when this button has actually been pressed. So let's save this as header.inc.php. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to include it in the top of my script. So you should have already had a look at the include function already. So header.inc.php. Now what this is going to do is it's going to include this inside of our script. So let's just check that out and see what happens. Okay, so now we've included this button here. Now what happens if we want to, I mean at the moment I've left action blank. What happens if we had another page? So I'm going to create another PHP page here, another page.php. What happens if we had another page and we were including this file as well? So header.inc.php. Now what I want to do is I want to have, let's just get rid of this for now. I want to submit this this form, but I want the action to be updated depending on what page I'm on. Because if I was to say have this button here, but I had let's say if is set $_post submit echo, we could say anything really, process 1. This process might be, say, registering a user, if that makes sense. Let's just copy and paste this over to the other page, but we can now call this process 2. So on index.php we're dealing with process 1, and on here we're dealing with process 2. However, we've got the same form. So what happens if we want to say submit it to, and this information, the button come back to index.php, or on this one the button to come back to index another page.php. So in here I could type index.php. So we've solved half of our problem. So let's refresh the page, and I click submit, and it comes up with process 1. But now if we access the other page, you can see that when I click submit, we go back to index.php. However, what I want to do is stay on another page.php, but process this here. So how are we going to go about this? Well, the answer is simple. We've already looked at this. We've already looked at this script file name or script name. So what we can do is we can specify a full file name. So we could say script name equals, and this could be relative, obviously, to server. And in here we could type, let's say, script name. Now what's happened here is we've created something that's going to be dynamically updated depending on what page they're on. So this header include is included on index and another page, but when we're on index this will be different, and when we're on another page this will be different again. So let's change this action here and update it dynamically. So we can set PHP tags to put this in here, and we can just echo out script name. So now what's going to happen is whatever page we're on, let's just view the source, you can see that form action equals another page.php there with the long the file names that we're, well, the directories that we're currently in. However, when we're on index.php, you can see that it's automatically changed again. So obviously this isn't going to work at the moment. Well, it will, because just because of the way everything's set up. So let's just go over to another page, and we click submit, and we've done that. So we've used the same form to process, but on 2 different pages. Now how would this be useful in a real life application? Now let's say this submit button had a form field which was username and password, and you wanted to log your users in but keep them on the same page as they are. You could use a form to log your user in, everything could work absolutely fine, and then what you could do is, using this variable that we've set here, you could redirect them back to the page that they submitted the user login from. So most websites you have the username and password at the top of the page, and you are returned to the page that you are currently viewing before you logged on. So that's a really useful way of using that server predefined environmental variable.